Oh lord, I'm back again. Hello, the Anime Misfit has asked for another editor moment that they recall from anime in general, and this one is less strange and more surprising. Like, this series was a lot better than I thought, even though I had no idea what it was surprising. I'll show you the beginning scene of episode 1, and I'll let you guess what kind of show it is. Oh, and here's an example of the show's intro. Did you guess a show that satirizes but also educates you about aspects of Japanese culture? Cause that's what it is! Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, or Goodbye Mr. Despair, is a show about a terribly pessimistic and practically suicidal high school teacher and his class full of students that each represent a quirk of Japanese society. The jokes in this show range from subtle to over the top, and each have interesting ways of being portrayed. Like the episode about family in a very literal sense, where the teacher has to go back to his hometown for an arranged marriage, which ends up being basically him trying to avoid eye contact with all of his female students because if he looks at one of them in the eyes, he has to marry them. Apparently he's a very adept at it too. There's also jabs at things like a hikikomori, where the student just does not leave her house, even though I think in later episodes she does leave her house? She just has a blanket on. The student who barely speaks, ever, if she does, but is so abusive through text. That's relatable. Oh, my Facebook group, hi. And an episode that picks on doujins in the Yankoma format. Now, not to say that there aren't serious topics in this episode, far from. There are actually serious topics about it because, again, it's about Japanese society and every part of it. The teacher himself has several moments that, even though he's very paranoid about everything, does have a good point to raise about a lot of things. He sees things in a negative light almost all the time and is trying to tell his students to do the same thing, but that sometimes doesn't quite stick when it comes to some of their own views and how they can differ from his own. It shows perspective through this kind of weird satirizing. And there are some times when the students really go through a lot of trouble, and other students or the teacher step in to help them. The show treads this fine line very well between this kind of parody and seriousness. You feel for the characters as humans and not just some kind of quirks put into human form. Well, okay, you feel for some of them. Some of them are just outright. Being honest, it's been a while since I've seen the show, but it definitely stuck with me. I'm gonna try and rewatch it after this. There are other seasons too, and admittedly I don't have the patience or the money to seek out the manga, but the show has a quite unique art style at times, and the writing flows well in each episode. I remember there being an overarching story, kinda, but each episode's mostly standalone, so you can kind of jump in and out. So if you've wanted to learn about Japanese society quirks and relate to a sense of paranoia that a lot of people have, then this show is for you. Seriously, give it a shot. It's weird and good. Apple picking a beam!